While music has been part of the Coast Guard for over 80 years, one of the newer musical groups associated with the Coast Guard is the Coast Guard Pipe Band.
U.S. Coast Guard Pipe Band is an organization of active duty, reserve, retired, and Coast Guard auxiliary members from all over the country.
Well, originally there were some folks who were involved in the Coast Guard, active and retired, and got together, found out they knew how to play pipes, and said, gosh, we should just come to Grand Haven next year, bring our pipes, and march as a band. They all wore whatever they happened to have, whatever kilts they had with their local bands. There was no matching uniform, and they marched along and suddenly realized, well, wait a minute, this is a really good idea. We can actually have a Coast Guard pipe band. Commander Anderson, who's our drum major, and Kevin Gilhaney founded the band and went through a great deal of effort on their part to get the permission to use the Coast Guard name and to wear the Coast Guard uniform.
Each rank, as the first rank passes the second rank, they step out. As the second rank passes the third rank, they step out.
Also remember, when we march into this, and we march up to the point where we're marking time, we will maybe be done with the tune, maybe not. If we're not, we're still playing. When we come to the end of the tune, what do we not do? We don't stop marking time. We keep going. Tune's done, we're stopped playing, these feet are moving. Not until he says halt.
While not an official part of the Coast Guard, they are organized specifically and exclusively to benefit the men and women of the Coast Guard. Selection for band membership is open to all active duty, reserve, and auxiliary members of the United States Coast Guard.
I'm on staff at the Coast Guard Academy in institutional research. I've played the pipe since I was 10. It seemed pretty natural to me because I've been in the Coast Guard since I was 18. So to put those two pieces together just seemed like it'd be a blast. I enjoy playing, I enjoy the Coast Guard.
I'm the bass drummer for the Coast Guard band. I was active duty years back in the early 80s. I started out on the side drum, which is a snare drum. Just recently, about 2 or 3 years ago, I picked up the bass drum. We have 4 bass drummers total throughout the country.
I play the bagpipes, and I've been playing for about 6 or 7 years. My wife and I were asked to join the band about 5 years ago. We came in the second year of its existence. In order to have the honor of being allowed to wear the uniform, we joined the auxiliary.
We are in auxiliary flotilla, they call it Flotilla 3-6 in District 7. I actually am involved in getting the music ready. What particular drum beats and settings that we would play with the particular tunes that the pipers have.
My wife is a tremendous musician. She plays a number of different instruments. She also has a lot of great leadership qualities, which is why they've made her the head of the drum section. The gentleman who asked us to join the band was Commander Anderson, the drum major, a very imposing presence out in front of the band. And when he asked us to join, we snapped to attention and said, yes, sir. And I often laugh to myself, and I tell everyone that, well, he really wanted my wife. He wanted her to be the drummer and head the drum section, and he had to take me to get her.
Glendora Highlanders, by the rope. 1, 2.
There's only 9 notes, and they've been the same 9 notes for hundreds of years. So if you don't play one correctly, everybody knows it. You don't have any faking it on an octave or running through a different fifth or anything else musically. You've got the 9 notes, and you got to play them exactly.
It's an interesting instrument. It always provokes conversation. And I've been playing for about 6 or 7 years, which is not terribly long compared to some of the gentlemen here. Some of them have vastly more experience than I do.
The Coast Guard Pipe Band wears the U.S. Coast Guard tartan, which was adopted as the official tartan of the U.S. Coast Guard on May 1, 2002 by then Commandant Admiral James Loy.
Which is based on the Alexander Hamilton tartan. Hamilton was of Scottish descent and was the founder of the Coast Guard, And so we used his family's tartan as the basis for our kilt with some modifications.
The band has come a long way since the first festival. It is now 75 members strong.
Since we have to volunteer our time and most often travel at our expense, it's difficult to get everyone assembled all at the same time.
While the band's number has increased, they are still hoping to grow even more, with plans to support more events each year on both national and local levels. And with volunteer members scattered throughout the country, being part of the Coast Guard Pipe Band is both challenging and rewarding.
It takes a bit of effort to be in this band because you do have to communicate through phone or email. You can't have face-to-face contact most of the time because we are scattered clearly all the way across the country, from Miami to a member all the way up in Alaska. And of course the active duty people are away at sea often, so it's hard on them, which is why you see a fairly large number of auxiliaries.
And whoever can make it to an event makes it. We send out DVDs, CDs with the music, and also showing me doing the drumming and the sticking. Because the only practice that we normally have is the 1 or 2 hours, maybe 3 hours that we have when we get together.
The band is largely involved in 2 different kinds of events. There are events that are a lot of fun, like here at Grand Haven. We have a tremendously good time. And we also have been to other parades such as Mardi Gras in New Orleans, and that's been a lot of fun. One of the main reasons for our existence, of course, are more somber events. Often it's memorials and sometimes funerals. The band has played in Arlington National Cemetery, which is obviously very touching. You feel a great responsibility.
It's a very emotional experience for me. You know, when we strike up the pipes, it sends chills up my spine, and you know, for me personally, I'm almost at the point of tears by that point. It's an overwhelming feeling to walk down the street and see those people just, they're all smiling faces, they're clapping, they're yelling, they're screaming when you walk by, they're blowing kisses at you. It's just a wonderful feeling.
For more information about the Coast Guard Pipe Band, you can visit their website at uscgpipeband.org.